Death Parade is a brand new anime series that should have your attention within the first 5 minutes. It's that good. It really reels you in with its premise. It's basically the Twilight Zone on crack. Before I go further with my review of the first episode of Death Parade, I just want to mention there are going to be massive spoilers in this video, so if you have not seen the first episode, I would recommend going to watch that right now, because I'm going to talk about all of the major events of this one, because the first episode was just a purely self-contained mindfuck of an episode that really just blew me away with its quality, its storytelling, and its amazing animation. So, the story of Death Parade is kind of extreme, and it doesn't really waste any time in getting to what's going on. It opens up with this married couple arriving in these double elevators, and they end up in this weird bar, which is known as the Queen Decim, and they walk up to this one bartender who goes by the name of Decim, and you can already tell from the intro of the show, and just the fact that he's pretty much plastered all over the promotional material for this show, that he's probably going to be one of the main characters. And Decim sort of acts as the arbiter for both heaven and hell. He decides where, when you die, are you going to go to heaven or hell, and it actually acts as like an elevator, and I just love the creativity of that. Now, how he decides is kind of sick and twisted. Whenever someone dies, they go down here and they go to this bar, and they have to play a game. And since it's a bar setting, they're actually going to be playing bar games, so there's going to be like pool and darts and so on. And it just so happens that it's going to be a husband and wife playing, and they actually don't even realize that they're dead yet. This is actually a revelation at the very end of the episode, and there's also a few more other plot twists and things that are just plain going to mess with your head. The presentation of the rules by Decim is both scary and exciting all at the same time. They can't ask where they are. They have to play the game, otherwise they're going to die. In fact, he even shows them this massive closet full of dead bodies, which pretty much just sets the tone for the rest of the episode and lets you know this series really isn't kidding around. And so reluctantly, the couple decides that they're going to have to play the game, otherwise it will mean their demise. Even though they're already dead, but they don't know that yet. So they're going to have to play a game of darts. And this darts game makes one hell of a flashy entrance. It just erupts from the ground, fire, smoke all over the place. It's really well animated, and it gets me really excited to see what all the other game entrances are going to be. So Machiko and Takashi are going to play a game of darts. Seems pretty simple. But the only problem is, every single point on the dartboard is actually connected to an organ on their body, like their liver, or their heart, or their eyeballs. So that definitely makes this game kind of messed up, and at first they almost don't believe it due to their whole Twilight Zone circumstances, so they decide to test it out, and Machiko ends up getting hurt. And little by little, as they're testing the game, they see that they get hurt, and they decide that maybe they can cheat in the game. Maybe if they just throw the darts outside the board, everything's going to be fine. The problem is, little by little as the episode is going on, you get to learn that this married couple has a really big problem with trust and with communication, and really this whole episode is about a married couple that just completely fell apart, and a lot of that has to do with, of course, mistrust and infidelity, and that really isn't all revealed until the end of the episode, and there's this really intense scene where Machiko says that she's actually pregnant, and the husband almost doesn't believe her at first and actually thinks that she's been cheating on him, and she promises that that's not true, and he actually ends up throwing the dart right at her stomach when he hits the point on the board. And it's really messed up because right before this happened, he was almost proud of the fact that he was about to be a father, but yet it manages to get more fucked up as it goes on, because she ends up throwing the dart right at the middle, which hits him directly in the heart, causing him to collapse over, spilling up blood. And I also loved the imagery of that one scene where she's coughing up blood, and you can actually see it running over her wedding ring, which, of course, is very symbolic of what's really going on in this scene. And it all ends with a game ending, Machiko wins, and this guy is just freaking out, and he has this, like, total just breakdown, and the animation here is outright disturbing. You can literally see his life flashing before his eyes, all of the events he's had with his girlfriend and new wife, and just all of the events which led up to him believing that she was committing adultery. And the game just ends, and she decides to walk away and just go and do her own thing. And then she suddenly just stops, turns around, and suddenly admits that she has been committing infidelity, and has actually been impregnated by someone else, and has only been with her husband for the money. And this just leads to this husband freaking out, running towards her, getting ready to kill her. Then Decim comes in and has these like razor wires erupt from his hand, and he stops him and he says, nope, that's the end of the game. That's the way it's going to be. They both get into their respective elevators, and I love the fact that the husband actually looks like he's going to heaven and the wife looks like she's going to hell. Make sure and stick around for the post-credit scene because you get to see a few other characters who I imagine maybe are other people who actually work at the Queen Decim bar. Maybe there are other people just like Decim himself. The point is, this first episode was just sort of to hook you in to the main premise of the show. They haven't really introduced any of the main cast. And the intro of the show, if it's any indication, there's going to be a lot of really crazy characters in this show. But what's the rundown on the first episode of Death Parade? Holy crap, this was really good. I think my favorite thing about Death Parade is how original it is. It's actually based on a short anime film called Death Billiards, and this is basically an expansion of that, and I don't believe it's based on anything else, and I just love the originality of this, and I love the style, the animation, the artwork. According to my good source, Blue Sakuga, a lot of the key staff who worked on the Bleach anime series are actually working on this right here, and they're doing a damned good job on this one. I love everything about it. All the character designs were great, especially Decim's. I can already tell he's going to be a very popular cosplay, especially if people can find those particular, like, eye lenses that he has. He has these really weird-looking blue eyes. Decim himself almost kind of comes across as, like, a Grim Reaper-esque character, and that's actually kind of fitting, considering his role as the bartender of the Queen Decim. And just the setting itself of a bar and playing bar games. I love the originality of that. And I know I've mentioned Twilight Zone a lot, but it totally sort of evoked that same mood, just the bizarre weirdness of the entire episode, and just, it was so intense because it almost seemed overly simple at first, like they're just going to play the game and that's it, but when they finally started to get into the backstory of the husband and wife and how their whole relationship just fell apart, just, that was handled so well. You were totally invested in every single moment of that. And that final moment when she reveals that she's been lying the entire time is just heartbreaking, and it makes you just so angry because your first thought is she won the game, so I guess maybe that means she's going to go to heaven, but they never really explained actually how that works. And at the end of the episode, you know, he's being cleansed. She is going to the void. It's very dark and disturbing. There's some very intense subject matter in this show, and it's all backed by a lot of really great just animation and artwork and just fantastic production value. This is going to be one of the biggest shows of 2015, and I almost decided that I wasn't going to watch it because there's just so many other anime right now that I've been watching, and I'm so behind on my reviews, but you guys have sent me so many messages about this show, and I'm really glad that I decided to check it out because it might be the most surprising show that I've seen in a long time, just for the sheer originality of it and the style. Like I said, I love the bar setting. The music is just so good. I love it so much. It just fits. Everything works in the series just so perfectly atmospheric. And it's funny too because they just sort of threw you right in. Like they didn't like have any sort of narrator or anything. It was just boom, two people on an elevator playing a game to the death. Who's going to heaven? Who's going to hell? It's that pretty freaking intense, and it was just a great episode. I love this. I really cannot wait to see more of what this show is going to do. I am so excited for Death Parade. So guys, check out this show. I highly recommend it. It has got some fantastic writing. The premise is great. The production value is amazing, and the animation and the artwork. The voice acting and the character designs are just great. This first episode blew me away. It's fantastic. It's a 5 out of 5, and you should check it out. It's Death Parade, and it's awesome. Thank you guys for watching my review. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And before you guys leave, please tell me what you thought about the first episode of Death Parade. Were you impressed by the first episode? Are you going to watch the rest of it? What do you hope to see from the rest of Death Parade? Remember guys, you can also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already by clicking on the channel icon right up here. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And if you're so inclined, you can also donate directly to us through our PayPal link in the description box below. And if you ever buy anything on Amazon, please use our Amazon link, whether it be anime DVDs, manga, or even video games. Whenever you make a purchase, it'll actually help us out, so save that as your bookmark link. Thank you guys for watching my review. I cannot wait to watch more of this brand new series. I'm really excited about Death Parade. It really might be my favorite show right now. Like, it's really impressed me that much. So there it is, guys. Thank you for watching. Super Kami Guru 9000 out.